acknowledgements. So we'll start with our land acknowledgement. This is the council meeting for Tuesday, June 6, 2023. In the spirit of reconciliation, the corporation of the Township of Nipigon respectfully acknowledges it is located on the traditional lands of the Red Rock Indian Band, signatory to the Robinson Superior Treaty of 1850, and the township further respectfully acknowledges the historic presence of the Métis people on these lands. Are there any disclosures of the pecuniary interest in council? And just to let everyone know that Councillor Hart did send his regrets. He's on vacation in Nova Scotia, lucky devil. Okay, number 2, minutes. So minutes from May 16th, 2023, approval of the minutes. So this is resolution 139, 2023. Moved by Councillor Sakamoto, seconded by Councillor McKenzie, that the previous minutes for May 16th, 2023 are hereby adopted as recorded by the deputy clerk. All in favor? Or sorry. I forget how to do this already. What am I first?
You've been away for a while.
I have.
It's been 3 weeks since our last meeting. It's like new.
What do I say first? Seriously.
Any
No, not all in
discussion?
favor. No, well,
Just call the question or any dissent or
okay.
are there any
In,
errors or omissions or?
in favor? All in favor? That's what I was gonna think. All in favor? Opposed?
There's a lot of things you could say.
And all in favor and carried. I am sorry about that. I'm out of practice here. Okay. So next, number 3, council. We have an oath of office. We have our new council member soon to be any second now, Gail Westhaver. So Deputy Clerk Berube, if you can.
All right, so you can repeat after me. I, Gail Westhaver,
I, Gail Westhaver.
haven't actually, yeah. I want to stand on camera. Would you like to stand up?
Sure. I'll stand right beside you.
Okay. Having been appointed to the office of councillor in the Township of Nipigon, do solemnly promise and declare that
Having been appointed to the office of the councillor in the Township of Nipigon, do solemnly promise and declare that
I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability.
I will truthfully, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of knowledge and ability.
I have not received or will not receive any payment or reward or promise of thereof for this exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any improper manner.
I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in bias, corrupt, or any improper manner.
I will disclose any pecuniary interests, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act.
I will disclose the primary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act.
I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III.
I will faithfully and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III.
Okay, and I make this solemn promise and declaration, consciously believing it to be true and knowing that it is the same force and effect as if made under oath.
And I make this solemn promise and declaration consciously believing it to be true and knowing that it is the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Okay,
I want to take a picture, Linda. But you have to put your hair on your eye. There, good. I knew you was unhappy saying that to me.
Okay, and she has to sign something, I believe.
yes, so you will sign here.
Hopefully I grabbed the pen that right.
Okay. All right, so it's official.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
One around the side, or actually maybe this side might be a little bit easier.
Join the team.
Yeah, congratulations. Well.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, number 4, finance, confirm and approve accounts. So this is resolution 140, 2023, moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Councillor Sakamoto, that the payment of accounts is listed on the following payment voucher B, and the same is hereby confirmed and approved. Payment voucher number 17, 2023, $49,699.57. And payment voucher number 18, 2023, $379,000, $379,501.61.
Call the question.
Not hold the question. What did I just normally say? Oh my gosh, it's been a long day. Not opposed, but in favor.
All in favor?
Who's in favor
Yeah.
of that? Show me hands. Opposed? And carried. I'm so sorry. Okay.
All good.
All right. B, finance, B, council expense policy, pets, meals, travel. Just gonna go through here. So, CEO Pac 9 has provided us with the current council expense policy and an amended council expense policy, including covering the cost of pet care for council, increased travel coverage according to Canada Revenue Agency rates, and incorporating in meal costs directly associated to the overall budget for both mayor and councillors. Discussion. Councillor McKenzie.
Yes, thank you. I'm not sure of what the CRA rate is for mileage. I'm not sure how that's handled, but I see that NOMA has a rate that they adjust. And I was just wondering, like NOMA is a Northern Ontario Municipal Association, so maybe these might be more pertinent to us. I'm not, as opposed to the CRA rate, I'm not sure.
The CRA rate, as far as I know, is what Red Rock has just adopted. So what it is, and I know that other municipalities have as well.
Okay.
So what it is it that way we don't have to adjust our policy every time sort of the gas rates go up. It's kind of, we just follow the CRA rate, which is
Okay.
adjusted up and down. So that's why that's in
Okay,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. And then I just had another question here because he had also included pet boarding and associated costs for pet care. And I'm just wondering, I know, if this is a service animal, I can see that being pertinent, but shouldn't that be specified? I know even the library has a policy that pets aren't, for example, pets aren't allowed in the library unless they're a service animal. And that the service animal will be, have accreditation, and that the animal is required for, given a professional's opinion as far as, a mental health, physical health or whatever. So that's the only thing I was wondering about, if it pertains to a service animal.
No, I think what it is any out-of-pocket costs. So boarding of an animal doesn't have to be a service dog. So what it is if you are going out of town and you have no friends or family to take care of your animal and you have to board it, and that's an out-of-pocket cost for you, you couldn't go to that conference if you didn't have someone to take care of your pet. You wouldn't have to pay for your pet if you weren't going to that conference. It's an out-of-pocket conference or out-of-pocket cost due to going away, just as childcare would be an out-of-pocket cost as well.
Yeah, but it's not, we don't ask other people to cover their childcare expenses going to a conference, do we?
Well, not exactly, but also they don't get paid $10,000 to do this. Any out-of-pocket costs, I think, Councillor Sakamoto, you had some.
Well, I don't support it the way it's written right now. But I think right now, I need more information. For one, the per diem
I'm not sure why it's a separate policy, but if we could get a copy of the per diem policy, so we can see how that works. And I was reading something else that would be useful information to help us develop the policy is to know how things went in the past. And the Municipal Act states that, I'm sorry for reading the Municipal Act, it's dry. Section 284, the treasurer of the municipality shall in each year on or before March 31st provide to council of the municipality an itemized statement on remuneration and expenses paid in the previous year to each member of council in respect to his, anyway, I won't go through all of the detail, basically for members of council. I think that would be useful information for us as well, to see what kind of things people have been putting in for.
That's for, like, for the previous year, that,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, so it looks like every year we're supposed to get a report by the end of March saying what everybody's expenses were for the year before. So that would help us identify where issues are, what kind of expenses that people have been looking at in the last year, and maybe help us adjust this policy.
Yeah, that information is available, is provided, I believe, online. I remember when I was in council, all council expenses at the end of the year were listed and itemized.
Yeah.
And that's been a transparent policy that has been in effect as far as I'm aware.
We haven't seen it since we were here in the sense that, you know, we should have seen it in the last
Well,
month or so,
do
so
you want
maybe
to
we could see it.
okay, so Deputy Clerk, do you know are you aware that if the expenses from last year for the counselors have been posted online as yet?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
they haven't been, or you don't know?
I would say no.
There haven't been, okay.
And this says to provide it to council.
Okay.
So we should have a chance probably to see it before it gets posted online, or when it gets posted.
Is that inclusive of anybody working and incurring expenses for the town,
No, I think
It's just,
the council?
yeah, I think so.
it's council members. The municipal act says, yeah, it has three different things that the council members are doing, and I can give you this copy, Linda, if you want.
I was just going to say, I'm sure it would be posted, like when the audits are posted, that there would be that information there.
Okay, so maybe that can be, since it's supposed to be provided to council according to municipal act, maybe those records could be emailed to us so that we can have a look at them. If they're prepared, they must be prepared if they're.
Yeah,
I would
this is an
imagine.
annual thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
There's a
yeah,
lot
I
of
was,
annual things.
Yeah, by the end of March, right? Counselor McKenzie?
Yeah,
one
and
more thing?
thank you. As far as per diems are like, that's not a policy. The per diem is part of the policy, right? Whatever we're paid for mileage or for our expenses and stuff like that, that's what a per diem is, right? So there's not a policy on a per diem. You have a per diem that's given, this is what you're paying for your expenses.
So
I
the
was
per diem
under-
is within the policy.
I was under the impression when I'd have to go back and read the emails. I thought there was an email that said there's also per diem, which was originally developed to help replace lost wages for people that work
Yes,
full time.
Yeah.
That's the one that I'm thinking there must be a policy that goes with that. That says that, so I'd kind of like to see it.
okay.
Counselor McKenzie?
Yeah, no, I misread what per diem you were talking about. Yeah, because if, I know in the past, if a counselor had to miss work, for example, on a day like Monday to Friday, they were paid a per diem of $150 a day. And, I know when I was last on council, myself and James, if we had to do a Monday to Friday, we put in for a per diem, but if it was on the weekend, we never did. That was kind of just our own policy, but I see what you're saying. You're trying to get, some clarification on that.
Well, and see, it does go with this traveling expenses. Should it be part of the policy as well? And, yeah, is it used appropriately? It sounded like maybe, there were some hints that maybe it wasn't, so I'd just like to see So maybe we need to clarify some things with policy, or maybe it's fine.
So it sounds like maybe we need to
Review.
defer this, like I don't think there's any opportunities coming up as yet for travel because it's the summertime and there's no conferences in the summertime. So maybe we can defer this to the next meeting as opposed to approving a
Yeah.
resolution right now. And then get, if, Deputy Clerk can submit to us what Councillor Sakamoto is asking for is a copy of the policy that includes the, talking about the per diem for replacement of lost wages, as well as, the records of what was sort of claimed in the past year. That would be good in time for our next meeting, which is about a month away. And then we'll defer this to the next meeting, if that's okay with everybody. Okay. All right, so that's deferred. And then under Finance C, we have CMHC Rapid Housing Initiative. So this is just, some information on, I believe it's a loan program through CMHC that's going to be taking in, applications in the fall. So this is just for information. Does anyone have any? Councillor Sakamoto.
I sent the item to be on the agenda.
Okay.
Mostly for an information, because I'd like to form an ad hoc committee. I heard about this, and sat in on the training session last week. It may have some possibilities for funding to help us do some more units in the Bell Street apartments. It may even help with, infrastructure for housing units, like maybe the sewer and water between Green Mantle and Harkness and that little piece. So I'd like to look into it, but to find out, Kelly was concerned that it was just a loan, what he understood. So anyway, I need to learn more about it. If another counselor would like to join me with this, they're happy to. I've approached, James Folds and Louise Dupuy, who are involved with the Bell Street Apartments before. Just to make sure we've got some continuity there and get their lessons learned to see if we could, so if it looks like there's potential, on the training session, they said they haven't opened for applications yet, but they're telling communities now is the time to be working on your applications. Because once the money's gone, it's gone.
So I'm thinking,
Okay,
is it a minimum of 25 units away, housing properly? I think it said something to that effect.
Kelly
You have to have.
worked up those numbers. I have to go back and look and see what the growth was. I think the Bell Street apartment, they were talking an additional 12 units. And the Green Mantle to Harkness has potential for 27 units, but that probably wouldn't happen within the 3 years, but,
yeah, and they would have to be affordable housing as well.
Yeah.
Those units, not market value.
and again, I know that the numbers that Kelly's provided here is great and is something that needs to happen. I don't know if we have to meet that 100% of the growth rate.
Okay.
So he's saying to meet the funding criteria. Anyway, we'll look into it. If it doesn't work, it's fine. Nothing lost, nothing gained.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so just noted that you'd like to put an ad hoc committee together with yourself and
Yeah.
Louise and James, and if anyone else is interested in that, maybe one other counselor, so it's not a complicated 3-counselor quorum deal.
It's quite a nice deal.
Yeah,
If it flies. Right?
so you're interested in
Yes,
joining
I
that? Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you. All right, moving on, finance surplus 2023. Surplus equipment. So the following items will be declared surplus by the Township of Nipigon and will be offered through public auction. The auction will begin on Monday, June 12th and close at 4 p.m. on June 23rd. And then there's details about bidding. So we're looking at this, bid amounts will be tendered to the CAO and will be open publicly beginning at 4:01 p.m. on June 23rd. The highest bid on each item will be declared the successful bidder. Once full payment is made, payment must be made by 4 p.m. on Tuesday, June 27th. Failure to do so results in the next high bid declared the successful bidder. So our items are one street sweeper, which is inoperable, one waffle broom for street sweeper, two air-cooled diesel engine water pumps, 4-cylinder, variety of cement sewer pipe, two floating docks, floats have holes, and various fitness equipment, including military bench, chin-up station, dumbbell, barbells, a variety of barbells. Okay, so this is, resolution 41, 2023. Is there any discussion on this at all? Councilor McKenzie?
I'm just wondering, we're selling our street sweeper, do we have a replacement?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Do we? Okay.
Okay,
We should have that actually on the road hopefully next week.
Okay, thank you.
perfect.
Is
Thank you.
there a viewing before, someone makes it, can they go see? I guess it's the day before, the day of.
I don't see, do you know how that works?
We're actually leaving everything where they are, so then you can go and check them out. So the docks are down at the marina,
Okay,
at the old dock boat launch. The street sweeper is actually in the old plywood mill. So I think they're gonna come up with a list of where the items are, but we decided to leave them there.
When the post comes up?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so resolution number 141, 2023, moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Councillor Sakamoto, that this council hereby approves the sale of the surplus equipment as provided by staff. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Now I got it. All right.
Scary.
Yeah, it's really scary sometimes, isn't it? For finance, E, Thunder Bay District Municipal League NOMA 2023 levy. So this is resolution 142. 2023. So this is the levy that's charged by the Thunder Bay Municipal League and NOMA. So resolution 142-2023 moved by Councillor Sakamoto, seconded by Councillor McKenzie, that this council hereby accepts the 2023 Thunder Bay District Municipal League levy and Northwestern Ontario Municipal Association requirements of $638.28. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Okay. For E, Thunder Bay District, oh, already did that, sorry. For F, Ministry of Infrastructure Court Rental Agreement 2024 to 2028. So this is resolution 143, 2023. Moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Councillor Sakamoto, that this council hereby approves a third license extension and amending agreement with His Majesty the King in right of Ontario, as represented by the Ministry of Infrastructure for the rental of the Nipigon Community Center multipurpose room, beginning January 1st, 2024 and ending on December 31st, 2028. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Okay. Okay, resolution 44. 2023. Water rates bylaw 2023. Okay. We do not have a seconder on this one, so is there any questions or?
I'm
Councillor
not sure
Sakamoto?
if Linda or Shane's up to speed. I was wondering what's new. I don't know what it looked like before. And I had a question about how the commercial groups are, how did they come up with those different commercial groups? If anybody has any idea. This is the first time we've ever seen water rates.
So just to explain to everybody, there's commercial groups A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And then there's I, J, K, all the way down to L. So it gets more expensive as the time goes on there. So it's commercial buildings all the way up to the schools and the hospital, etc.
So is anybody?
Just like how they got to those numbers, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, what made the categories, and I'm wondering with the personal rates for households, are those the same as they were last year, or are they going up this year? I don't have the old rates to compare and I can't remember what my water bill.
Counselor
They're
Kennedy.
definitely going up because of Walkerton, you know, the township has to renew our water system.
Oh, yes.
On a basis, so these water rates are reflective of an increase. I forget what the rate was. I think it was 10% that Kelly had mentioned.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, I don't remember.
it's on it's over a number of years that it's, so that it doesn't happen all at once, right?
Right.
Because it's quite a big
Yeah.
amount that's required to update the water. Councilor
Yeah,
Mackenzie.
just to continue, I know, you know, you look at the water rates for two people, that's $270 a month. That's pretty significant.
That's quarterly.
Quarterly? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, quarterly.
Yeah.
78.
Anyhow, I'm speaking.
Sorry, we don't have,
Okay.
people in the audience.
Yeah, so anyhow, that, you know, the rates have gone up and it's a kind of a pill you have to swallow.
Any other discussion on that? Okay, would you like to second this one, Gail? Can I
I'll
get
second
to
that,
sign
yeah.
that?
Right here.
Right there.
Oh,
You. So this is resolution 144, 2023, moved by Counselor Mackenzie, seconded by Counselor Westhaver. That leave be given to set rates respecting water services, that the bylaw be read a first and second times, that the said bylaw be read a third time. Finally passed and numbered bylaw 1919 of the Township of Nipigon. All in favor? Opposed? And carried. Okay, so we're into Public Works now. So this is 145, 2023 resolution. Moved by Counselor Sakamoto, seconded by Counselor Mackenzie, that the minutes of the Nipigon Public Works Committee on May 9th, 2023 are hereby approved with recommendations A to F, and I am going to just read those out, but I gotta move my way down here. Are those
I
the,
just have a question.
sure, go ahead. Counselor
Just,
Sakamoto.
I know in our discussion before, and I don't notice it in a minute. We're wondering if somebody could access the original agreement for the golf club. Did you get to?
Anyone else have any questions for Mr. Hardy? I just have a couple questions while you're here, Shane. So the graffiti issue that was brought up about did you have any luck contacting the builders there
No,
or
not
the
yet,
designer? Okay. 5C. Oh, and the MTO, did anyone get back to you from the MTO about that sign?
The sign, I was told, by CAO Kelly that that he was taking care of the sign.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Because I wasn't sure if it was our responsibility to
No.
deal with it or if it's theirs or what.
It's
So he's
down in
gonna deal with it?
MTO, so it's not
Okay,
public works.
perfect. Okay, thank you. Good, okay. So any more discussion? I think I already asked that, but I'll read out the recommendations now. So, but the minutes of the Nipigon Public Works Committee on May 9th, 2023 are hereby approved with recommendations A through F approved. Those are A, Public Works recommend to council that PWC, that's UA, Public Works. Committee, okay. I was wondering what the C meant was standing for. That the Public Works Committee recommend to council that council approves 2023-0503 silent policeman accept policy as amended. B, PWC recommend to council that council approves 2023-0504 pothole fill schedule and plan next spring to have ad in Gazette about fixing potholes and create a report of pothole length on the town website. C, PWC recommend to council that council approves 2023-0507 marina operations, hire seasonal evening employee or contractor to accept money for camping, check sites, boat slips, and keep marina clean. D, PWC recommend to council that council approves 2023-0508 annual equipment rental, Kovacs contracting. E, PWC recommend to council that council approves 2023-0512 proposed first annual mayor's community cleanup May 25th in lieu of action litter day. And F, PWC last 2 weeks of May will be for spring cleanup. All in favor? Opposed and carried.
The evening employer, could I ask how many hours is that?
Are we gonna be getting a proposal on Tuesday about the operations?
A little bit, yes.
A little bit? Do you
we
wanna
got-
answer that now or?
Yeah, we got, funding for a student from Parks Canada,
Oh, perfect.
so we're in the process of putting out an ad for 2 students for the marina.
Perfect.
And do you have the amount of hours that are, do you know them off?
Full time.
Full time?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, perfect. That's a great job. Okay,
Good job.
5, Public Works B, silent policeman policy. Resolution number 146, 2023. Moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Councillor Sakamoto, that this council hereby approves the silent policeman policy as prepared by staff. Does anyone have any questions about that policy or issues? Okay, all in favor? Opposed? And carried. Okay.
Well, here's a memo about Parks Canada's staffing.
Right, yeah, that's our, yeah, it's hard to, sometimes when we start discussing and you don't think about scrolling down, so that's the. Okay, 2023, okay, that's done, marina operations. Oh, no, we just went through the silent policeman policy. Okay, yeah, so funding has been secured by staff for marina attendants as Mr. Hardy just, let us know. So we can move on to the next, 5D, highway, water and sewer report to council. So this was submitted by Councillor Sakamoto. Kathy, would you like to discuss, just give a
Sure.
Paul's notes here?
So May 11th, Glenn Hart and I met with Aldo and Enzo Roberto, who are developers who bought some property along the highway. And they talked to us about some of the potential development along our highway and the opportunities now, but their main focus was the kind of development we can have if we have sewer and water on the highway. There have been, they knew of a hotel that was an upscale hotel that was looking at property there to put up a 50-room hotel with an indoor pool. But they need sewer and water to do that. I've heard that some of the motels have had their wells run dry and those sorts of things. They brought to our attention, one of these people was actually a councillor in the city of Thunder Bay too. So yeah, although with 16 years as councillor in Thunder Bay. So he knows how to get things done, right? He says really he was asking about the highway development. When the 4-laning would be done here, which we don't know yet, we just had a meeting with MTO today. And we see it's not even in their design phase yet. But when that happens would be the cheapest time to do the sewer and water. While MTO are doing the highway, things are already dug up, as MTO just told us today. Their contractor could install the sewer and water while they're doing the highway. So there could be some cost savings at that time. They also mentioned that one of the businesses on the highway that they had spoken to was willing to even help pay some money towards sewer and water on the highway. So we may have many opportunities here to make something happen. So Glenn and I wanted to let council make them aware of what was discussed in the meeting, and that we would like to form a bit of an ad hoc committee to look into the current costs and related challenges to move forward with this. We're not talking about forcing it to go ahead or fighting for yes or no, just let's look at all the associated costs. For example, to add extra sewer and water is going to affect our water treatment plant may have to be upgraded, our sewer treatment plant will probably have to be upgraded. Those are all associated costs that would have to be taken into consideration here. I understand there was, Kelly mentioned there was a report that was done about 10 years ago. So Linda, if we could get a copy of that report.
If I
if
find
you can
it.
find it, I would say to be aware, so it must exist. If it's,
Yeah, the MTO people were talking about it too, was Jeff had put it
Jeff had-
together.
yeah, so if
I
it's,
might be
if
able
it's,
to find it. I have prices, so I might be able to find the report.
okay, if it's electronic, great, if it's paper, I can even come in and look at it and maybe photocopy important parts or whatever. Just let me know.
Good opportunity for expanding housing out that way too.
Well, and it opens up a whole different,
Yes.
opportunity for
Mhm.
us and to help increase and improve our tax base. Because really, right now, that is probably our biggest tax base for our whole town since
Yeah.
we've lost our plywood mill, is all those businesses on the highway. So if there's things that we can do to help support them and maybe help support them grow, which would help our tax base grow, it all could be good. So it was, a bit of a, like the other one, for information now, just to make council aware, we don't need any resolutions or anything at
Mhm.
this time. But,
And did you say you're interested in having like an ad hoc committee for that as well? Is that what you
yeah,
mentioned?
and whether
Okay.
the ad hoc committee is again, Glenn and I, or if there's other people that are interested in being involved, are welcome to do that. We'll probably be approaching staff now and again, just to get information. Yeah, Shane, sounds like you're gonna have a lot of information for us.
I think it would be helpful to, go and talk to, some of the other business people as well, to see if any of them are interested in being part of that ad hoc, committee.
Actually, one of the things that Aldo, with his good counselor background, said he was going to talk to all the businesses on the highway and see if we can organize a business group
Oh, perfect.
to get them organized.
Someone else gonna do it. Love it. Okay.
So, and that makes it a little nicer for us, so,
That's
we
great.
can be organized on our side, they can be and we've got an ability to negotiate. A little easier to negotiate with a group rather than individuals, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions for Councilor Sakamoto at this time? Okay, thank you.
Super news.
Yes, that's fantastic. Okay, Public Works e-stop sign. So we have a letter here from Sergeant Chuck Curry of the OPP detachment, Nipigon detachment. We have been receiving complaints from residents on Front Street regarding the speed of vehicles traveling on Front Street towards Park Road. Residents in the area of this intersection have also advised that vehicles are speeding through and turning from Front onto Park Road. I have attended the area and observed there are no stop signs at the end of Front Street, requesting your consideration in placing a stop sign at the Front Street Park Road intersection which may slow traffic in this area. Thank you, Sergeant Chuck Curry. Any discussion on, there's no resolution here, so I imagine it's just a direct direction to council. Yeah.
Yes, your worship, it's not just that one location. I know up where I live on the corner of 7th Street in McCurdy. Last year, it was so serious, I had asked for a stop sign from the previous council. And they wouldn't even listen to what I had to say. It got so serious that the OPP parked a vehicle, their OPP vehicle at the corner for 2 days. To kind of create a presence, so I guess this is a great letter from Staff Sergeant Chuck Curry, but I think we should also consider other spots in town. And I was gonna suggest the top of 7th and McCurdy, and maybe others on council have other locations where there's a traffic issue.
Does anyone have suggestions?
I think certainly he's actually asking for us to,
Place a stop sign.
requesting your consideration.
Yeah. We don't have a resolution, but I
we
think it would
need
just
one.
be a direction, I think.
Direction?
Yeah, otherwise we probably would have gotten. So can we direct staff to install a stop sign there when they have a chance, as well as at 7th and McCurdy? And if there's any question about where you can, they can contact you. Yes,
Just if it was approved, the traffic bylaw would require an amendment.
oh, okay.
And residents in the area have also expressed concern for the traffic flow at the intersection.
Okay, can we request an amendment then that would include 7th and McCurdy as well as that location, please?
Are those the only two that you know of?
I don't know. if
That's
there's
the only
any-
one that I'm aware of.
Perhaps the OPP would know if they've had other complaints.
Yeah.
Check just probably did that, but maybe there's others.
Counselor Sakamoto?
Glenn, sorry, just a question as I'm trying to.
Gordon, the other
I'm
G.
sorry, Gordon.
The original.
Glen's a little younger than me.
He's the OG.
I'm just wondering the difference between the top of seventh versus the top of sixth, right by the school.
There is one at the top of Sixth Street by the school.
Is there?
Yes, there is.
Okay, and there's still a need for one at seventh.
Yes, what happens is, people traveling, especially from the east going west, if they live at the far end of the street, they just accelerate right through until they hit Sixth Street. It's really dangerous.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe it has to be a flashing.
I
A
think,
stop sign
I think a
would be
stop sign would work,
suffice,
yeah. We're not too fancy with the flashing.
No.
Okay, so we're good, Linda, that's good for you, you have the direction there, okay, thank you. And thank you to Sergeant Curry for taking the initiative to write a letter to request that, that's great. Number 5, Township of Dorian Chief Building Official Agreement. So we have an agreement with, Dorian that I guess they would hire, we've contracted a chief, since, Mr. Aiken has left, the contract is a CDO, correct? So, they are looking to contract that CDO through us, I guess. That's, now, I noticed there's not a seconder on here, so I assume that Counselor Sakamoto has a question or issue.
Oh, I can.
Yeah, or you just
I do
didn't
have
see it?
questions.
Okay,
No,
perfect, I
I was
assume.
leaving spaces for Gail.
Oh, sorry, but you do have a question, so go ahead.
But I do, I don't understand the background of this. My main questions are why, this is, our contracted building official is from Thunder Bay, right?
Correct.
Why they wouldn't enter into the same agreement, even if they copied ours. And I see in here that we're also offering some of your time at no charge.
Isn't that at no charge? I didn't notice that. Where do you see that?
There's a pay rate for the building contractor, but it actually says for our PWS, the Township of Nipigon shall be responsible for paying any employee wages incurred,
By their
There-
PWS.
Yeah,
Okay, by their.
I thought there was something. in
Oh,
here.
yeah, you're right. The township shall be responsible for any employee wages incurred by their PWS.
So it's,
Yeah,
so
that's a
am I
question.
understanding that some of your service are being offered to Dorian as well?
Yes,
But not,
Can you give us some details about?
just, prepping the paperwork for the CBO as well as inspections.
and is that correct? And are we reading that correct? That it's not, I don't know if you know this, but that we're not charging for that service?
I don't know.
Okay.
what number are we on here?
We're at, number, at the bottom, number 4,
Page 46.
right there, at the bottom. So it says the Township of Nipigon shall be responsible for paying any employee wages incurred by their PWS.
Yeah, so I don't,
That's
it
confusing.
doesn't seem like a good deal for Nipigon. Seems like a good deal for.
The Township of Dorian shall be invoiced for any mileage incurred by the Township of Nipigon's PWS, so.
That's mileage.
Yeah.
But what about,
Wait, but
That-
because they used to pay us for Jeff's time, as far as I know, so it looks like,
Okay, so
township
we've
shall
done
be-
this in the past.
well, he was our CBO, yeah, we contracted him out to Dorian to help.
This isn't, this is only
Okay.
talking about, this is only talking about mileage.
But it says the Township of Nipigon shall be responsible for paying any employee wages incurred by their PWS, that's wages,
Fine.
not mileage.
Cause we're
Number
saying
2 covers that $45.
farther up,
Okay,
we're saying
Yeah.
that retaining the contract
Oh,
of
okay.
CBO
that's for the CBO though,
With
not
the-
for our public works.
with the assistance of Township of Nipigon's PWS. As for the terms here.
I know what the problem is.
Okay,
Jeff used to be the public works superintendent and the CBO,
right,
so
Yeah.
that's where the,
Okay, and I don't know anything about this, I just, in my reading it, not knowing of any of the history, it doesn't seem like.
well, you could clarify it with an
Like-
addendum.
it seems like we're sharing our staff with Nipigon and we're providing.
With Dorian,
Yeah.
It's like,
which we have done in the past, but this
Oh, yeah.
just sounds like
Yeah,
we
this-
are contracting him out to do some work for them, but we're responsible. They're paying
Yeah.
mileage, but not wages
And
for
what
his
if-
time.
if we're doing a contractor, could we certainly help them get set up, but couldn't they just do their
Hire
own
their
contract
own.
for their contract?
That would be up to them, I
It
guess.
seems a lot of administrative work for us.
Counselor McKenzie?
Can I simply propose that we put an addendum to the contract stating that any, you know, any costs incurred by our public works superintendent will be covered by the Dorian Township
Wages,
wages.
right.
Yeah.
Well, they would have to rewrite this.
Yeah.
Because we can't say that we don't, and then on the end that we do.
Okay.
I just question, is it necessary now that we're using a contractor? Certainly,
Well, that's for Dorian to decide, right?
yeah. But if they're, I mean, if they wanna pay us to do this, to be the in-betweener, might just be because they have a lack of, they have one person staff.
Okay, yeah, I
Basically in their
just-
office, so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand to buy into the whole system and why it's to our benefit. Like, are we making a bit of money on every transaction? Because there's administrative here with us writing up the invoices and dealing with invoices that we wouldn't have to do if Dorian had dealt with them separately. I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah.
Should we maybe defer this, to have it changed?
Just use
Have it
more
corrected?
information. I don't know how much. I don't wanna put you on the
I don't
spot.
have a lot, so
Let's defer it. If we can defer it.
And how much time are they looking at?
It depends.
it depends
On
on
what-
how many building permits come in.
Yeah.
It's not a lot, I don't think.
If we've done it in the past, we probably have an idea of how many times Jeff was going to Dorian.
So, Deputy Clerk, if you could just take note of that and just that there's just some confusion there about, we would not like to contract our PWS out with at our cost. So we just want to clarify that they're going to be paying for that, if they want us to be the go-between, that they have to pay for that service, I think. Cause it is, you know, our taxpayers' salary, that's, you know, our taxpayers are paying that salary. Yeah, I get it.
Plus administrative support.
So we're gonna defer this to the next meeting. Okay. Okay, and we're out to recreation. Recreation students, 2023. So this is resolution 147, 2023. That this council hereby, moved by Councillor Sakamoto, seconded by Councillor McKenzie, that this council hereby approves the hiring of the following students for 2023. Museum, Emily Mangoff, Solomon Labar and Oliver Allanen. Golf course, Rourke Tie House. All in favor?
Yep.
Opposed? And carried. You better not oppose those poor students. Okay. And B, canteen rental agreements. So this would be 148. Okay, so this is the canteen rental agreement as it currently is. But with the deadline of September 1st, 2023, just the dates have been changed here. So, does anyone have any discussion points on this? Councillor McKenzie.
Yeah, I see there is a portion in that canteen. What is it called again?
Right,
Yeah, the canteen contract that has healthy eating options available, so I'd really strongly encourage that. About 3 or 4 years ago, the township did sign on to what was called the Healthy Kids Community Challenge, which encouraged, one aspect of it was healthy eating options. So I was quite happy to see that still is in that contract. It's towards the bottom.
okay.
Yeah.
Anything else from anybody? Okay, I have a few things to say about this. Number one, again, I've mentioned this before, we need to ensure that this is not, that we're not supplementing a for-profit business that is in direct competition with our restaurants. They made it clear last year that they weren't happy with the contract, last year, and previous years. And, just for instance, I'm just looking at the water charges for the restaurants in town. So there's one restaurant that has to pay $133 a month in water, and there's another one that has to pay $322 a month just in water. Okay, so when you're looking at, I think it was $550 a month that the canteen was being rented out for last year. So just in water, that's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And so you're looking at the canteen where we offer, the gas is paid for, the power is paid for, the snow removal is paid for, the cleaning of the washrooms is paid for, the cleaning of the dining area is paid for. There is some equipment in there as well as the water. So, I think that, I know that, I have been speaking to some of the restaurant operators in town, and I think that if the canteen is operated as a canteen for canteen hours, it is reasonable to ask that lower fee or to accept a lower fee. If it's being run as a restaurant, from 11 till 8 at night, all week and all weekends, open in the evenings, it's not fair competition. So I think what we have to decide here is, can we ask for proposals from people? Because I do like the idea of having a restaurant, and if someone's willing to pay market price rent to have it open all that time, that's great. And the restaurant owners don't have a problem with that, as long as it's against actually the municipal act to be paying, or to be charging less than market value to a for-profit firm. It is in the municipal act, so we can't go against that as well. But I think that if my suggestion would be that instead of asking for it's a tender, we ask for proposals. You can either operate it as a canteen, because some people are scared away by, if we say you have to be open all these hours, they don't want to do it, and then you don't have a canteen operator. You might have someone who wants to run it as a restaurant and says, well, I'm not gonna make enough money as a canteen, I don't wanna bother, right? And we have so few people that are interested and able to do that, that I think if we open up the two options and just ask for proposals, I think we would get more interest from different people. And I also think that we should include in that request for proposal a base bid, a minimum bid. So if I'm not deciding on anything, but I'm just pulling out a number. Let's say, for an example, a request for proposals, and here's all the equipment that's listed, that's included, here's everything that's involved. If you would like to run it all hours as a restaurant, offer takeout, all that kind of thing, the base rent would be, and I'm just pulling out a number, the base rent could be $1,500 a month. If you are proposing to run it as a canteen only during events, 4 hours a week in the evenings during hockey practices, your base bid would be $500, and it can go, that's the base, and then it can go up from there. That is my suggestion, and I feel like that is fair, and I feel like we'll get more people hopefully putting in. And we could get a restaurant operator then, which would be good too. Councillor McKenzie.
Yeah, no, those are good ideas. I know the original contracts were to encourage, operations of the canteen, during the hockey season. And, when I was on the Healthy Kids Community Challenge, committee there, we talked ad nauseam to people that ran canteens at different centers and different places. And, some of the CEOs told me that they had a great deal of difficulty attracting someone to operate the canteen, even given all these preambles of, it's, all the things that you had mentioned, all the benefits. But, so they, that's, I think that was the original intent of that contract. But however, like, I agree with you, if it's gonna be run as a business, then that's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
So perhaps, yeah, you're right, we should have a second look at this.
And I think when maybe deciding on that if we do go this route and we decide on like a base for that market rent, we have to look at, for the restaurant, we have to look at everything that I mentioned, the gas, the power, the water, the cleaning. All, if the roof, something happens with the roof or something out, like, it's all paid for, it's all taken care of by the town, right? So what is that worth? So I think that would be like a good base for, council.
Yeah, so then you would have two options then?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we put out a request for proposals, and then we have the two options in there with the bait, define those options are, and then have a base.
Yeah,
A minimum
goes
bid.
on there in the summer, not much, eh?
Well, there's people around there, there's a
Yeah.
park, there's the soccer, the baseball, I don't know if slow pitch is happening this summer, but. There is an option, like there could be in a proposal, would you like to be open the entire year?
Mhm.
We could also offer give a proposal for 2 years, I don't know. But I think because we're changing it, we might do an 1 year with an option to renew if both parties are interested.
Mhm.
Now that we don't lose them. Counselor Sakamoto.
I support what you're saying. I think it's a really good idea. I like the request for proposal. Because it keeps our options open, like Gord was saying, may not be that many people out there to bid on them, and this just kind of opens the door to maybe a variety of people, some other ways to make money. Last summer, when Krabby Andy was running it in the summer, the families that were at the playground and would go in there for lunch and things, it was, for people just walking around town, it was nice. It was nice to see that it was busy. So if somebody was interested in running it in the summer, that would be great too. I wonder if we could, to make it happen is always challenging. I think that council would like to be involved in the development of the request for proposal.
Yeah, since it's changing quite a bit, I think that would be a good idea for us to be able to go over that. And have some input to it as well. It might go through a few drafts in the next couple of weeks or month. I think this is, we have to get started on it early though, like get those bids in earlier. I would say even earlier than September the 1st if we could do that.
So we'll need to be working by email, seeing some drafts through the summer.
I think that would be good. Yeah, I think that would be helpful. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Deputy Clerk Ruby. So the direction is to move forward with the request for proposals as opposed to a tender, as per our discussion here with two options and a base minimum bid. Okay.
She's a great castle on that.
Okay, so we're gonna defer that one again. Not again, we haven't seen it yet, but that's another one to defer on it. All right, North Shore Golf Course and Trillium Foundation, so. Apparently there is an issue with the golf course water. And I don't know, Shane, if you can expand on this a little bit for us.
There is, a pretty good sulfur smell or something. We're trying to figure out what it is. We sent some tests to ALS, which came back negative for alkalinity and E. coli. So we found out from one person is to chlorinate the well, which we tried chlorinating the well last week. And it still has no result. So we're meeting with a well company to see what our next steps might possibly be and how much.
Okay, and the golf course is operating?
They are, yeah.
And they're using that, like they have to boil it to cook and stuff like that, or are they?
I think they're bringing water in. There's signs up. I don't know who put the signs up about do not drink the water. It says the Thunder Bay Health Unit, so I don't know where they got these signs from. I seen them up there when I went there. There is no E. coli, so it's something like that in the water, but.
Okay, so, this is in our package because, there was a possibility that we would be, that the CAO was gonna put in an application to the Trillium Fund, to improve the water. Well, the one concern there's a few concerns I have with that. First of all, we don't know what the problem is. How do we know what to apply for and for how much and all that kind of stuff?
One person that goes to the golf course, I guess he used to work for a well company,
Mhm.
and he said something about the charcoal filter and everything should work, but I don't know how much that is.
Okay, so that's the thought of possibly
Yeah.
putting in a charcoal filter?
Yeah,
Okay. Because this application is coming up June, I think it's June 15th, I'm not sure, it's June 15th or 17th, that's when the deadline is. CO Pack-9 isn't here, but do you know if he's completed that application, Linda, or if he's still sort of considering what to address? Okay.
I know he's completed a few different grants lately,
Mhm.
I can't.
Yeah.
This is one of them.
It's okay, Councilor Mackenzie?
Yeah, actually, I spoke to Kelly about that, today, and, he gave me the impression that he was well underway for the application. He was saying that, he told me that, it's not a for sure that they're gonna get it, but he'd like to at least apply, to cover.
It's for the golf
For
course.
the golf course, yeah, for the golf course portion,
Okay,
so I would,
It's not submitted yet.
hey,
It wasn't submitted yet.
I can't say definitively whether it's been submitted or not, but I know that he was very serious about it and wanting to get it resolved. And,
did he mention a cost?
like
How much he's applying for?
it could be, I remember from before, please,
Yeah, no,
You're gonna nail me on the
sorry,
cost,
sorry. If you don't feel comfortable,
it's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
expensive, okay? It's probably gonna be $50,000-$60,000 type of thing, so. We should apply for that grant.
yeah, so
Yeah.
absolutely. The other thing though is that I would like to request that we also apply for other things within that, grant, because it is a grant that only comes along once a year. It is competitive.
Okay.
So if it is successful, to putting all that work in. Now, I was just looking at the recreation items because it's normally recreation that, community recreation stuff that they do fund. So, there's a diving board here for $15,000 and NCC playground equipment for $7,000. Shane, you probably might be able to answer this better than anyone. Have those items been purchased yet or sourced or anything
I
like
don't
that?
know, I know they've been sourced, I know she found prices, but I don't know if they've been purchased.
Okay. So my sorry.
Yeah,
Councilor
those items were in the budget.
Yes,
And remember in our capital
Yeah.
budget discussion, so we've actually talked about them. and
Yes.
They're been
Yep.
proposed, regardless of the grant application.
but wouldn't it be better to maybe try, which is what we did with the Jaws of Life, right? They were applied for, it is in our budget,
Mhm.
but we applied for money and that was 100% paid
Right.
for. So as CO Pack-9 said, some items are gonna be over budget in this,
Mhm.
right? So, and he said he would be applying for funding for items in here, right?
Mhm.
So I would just strongly recommend to look at adding to that application, because
so
we
you have a
have gotten
choice.
$80,000 to $90,000 from OTF before. Yes,
Yeah.
Counselor, or sorry, deputy, I was used to saying counselor, deputy clerk.
I believe that CAO Packanagan was told that the fitness room equipment is not eligible under that.
Yeah, so he did talk about the fitness equipment, but not the
Yes.
others, not the other items. So he's already purchased the fitness equipment items, they're already in the workout space, correct?
Area.
So they can't be applied for anyways, because they're already purchased and everything, but what I was looking at is the diving board and the playground equipment. I know for a fact that playground equipment is eligible through that fund because it's been accessed in the past by other municipalities for playground equipment and for splash pads and things like that. So I would like that investigated, because for us to pay $22,000 out of our taxpayers' pockets, if we don't have to,
Yeah.
would be very good. And then it could go towards any overages that, the public works projects, construction projects they go over all the time, right? Best laid plans, but Councillor McKenzie.
Yes, okay, in that regard, perhaps you might want to consider just putting an addendum on here,
Yes,
you know, for them, because it says to fund improvements to the water system of the North Shore Golf Course, right? So, you can say
and yeah, I don't have a problem with applying for
Yeah.
the golf course if we have an idea of what the problem is and what the cost is. But I think if we have it as a Nipigon recreation project. And also submit these other, and it's $22,000, plus whatever, $50,000, that's 72,000, we've gotten 80 to 90 in the past, so. I just don't see the harm in adding them in.
Of course not. So because I moved it, I'll write
You're gonna
down
write this.
an initial, what else would you like to?
Well, the pool sandblasting, that's been done, and all that stuff has to be done, so if the diving board and the
Okay, so
NCC
plus
playground equipment,
The addition
the hometown heroes highway signs, they wouldn't do
of
that,
the diving board,
and NCC playground equipment.
okay? That's good,
Yes,
and now we just need a second.
who would like to second that?
Was it tested for salt, no, or just for that it's drinkable?
Just the normal testing, we're gonna do a metals test next, but we were told to hold on, because we were trying the chlorine thing last week. We got in contact with Jim Haskell from E. Wheaton, and he works at the Red Rock water treatment plant. He's the one that recommended trying the chlorine before we went there.
The old M and R office, Gail would remember when it
Yeah.
was on the highway, had the same
Oh, God.
heavy sulfur smell to the water. We had,
It gets sold.
even with heavy water softener treatment, it didn't
And
help all that much.
Remember, it was a lot in the spring when we got the meltdown and stuff, so maybe it's after all these years, that golf course has been fine, correct?
Yes,
So there could be something that's just leaching in,
apparently it started roughly when the highway went through.
there fractured something, the blasting, the same at my house.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on, since we got a few more things to get through here, so this is resolution 148, 2023, moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Councillor Sakamoto, that this council hereby approves staff submitting an application to the Ontario Trillium Foundation to fund improvements to the water system at the North Shore Golf Course, plus in addition of the diving board and the NCC playground equipment to be included in the application. All in favor? Opposed and carried. Okay. Where's my agenda? Lost my agenda. There it is. Okay. Okay, Tourist Information Center. If council wishes to sell the building, we must follow the Township of Nipigon sale of land bylaw. Council must first pass a resolution making the Tourist Information Center surplus property to proceed with the sale of the land.
Didn't we do that
No,
ages ago?
we did, I don't think yeah, we did, didn't we?
When Tanner was here.
And that's why we went ahead and got the, yeah. And I don't. See, am I missing
So right now it
something?
is our surplus property.
Okay, I don't see a resolution for that, but we did, I believe we did declare it surplus property a few meetings ago. Staff are discussing operations currently with a plan of operations to be presented at the Public Works meeting on June 13th. So is he talking about plan for operations of the Tourist Information Center?
I don't
Or-
think so.
okay.
Planning to operate it.
Okay, so I think what he might be referring to there is that I requested the tourism information to be on the, not the information center, but tourism information to be on, might have just been a little confusion there. I'm just concerned about, who is providing tourism information for us this summer with the closure of the Tourist Information Center. And as well as Edge Arts not being open to provide, as we had originally thought, might be open with some students to provide tourism information. So I think we talked about the museum providing tourism information.
The plan is to bring all that stuff down to the marina,
Okay,
to have those two students down there go through all that, and they can talk with all the people going down there.
okay, perfect. So what I would like to suggest is that, I have my Superior Country hat on, so there's a training, free training that's available online. There's training through Parks Canada as well. I know that they sometimes have training for students. I don't know. I'm speaking out of turn because I don't know like when they've had it. They usually have it earlier in the season. So for training for them, contact Parks Canada, Manon. Cuthbertson would know about that if there's any opportunities there. And then you can contact, actually, like, Dan at, Superior Country about, we have videos posted online and things like that for them to watch, just about how to deal with visitors and things like that. And then we also have pamphlets that we've put out in the past, our Nipigon brochures that have the map of the town and everything. The last one that I saw, I think, was updated a couple years ago. It's very outdated with the businesses and everything on there. So that, I don't know if that's your thing or not, or if that would be Linda's thing, but that pamphlet should be updated and reprinted so that they have something to give out, so that there's information. Also, we have like trail brochures and stuff from Superior Country that we can bring down and have them give out as well. It always helps to have the backup for that, but that brochure definitely should be updated. And there's also a fishing brochure, that Kristen would know about, because she updated it a few years ago. And more copies of that should be made as well. It's like top 10 fishing spots in Nipigon area. That will help all them to give information.
A lot of the restaurants too keep those kind of pamphlets, and people pick them up while they're going to eat, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that, yeah, I'm again about the building. I believe we already did. Linda, maybe you can check on that prior minutes that we already did, declare it surplus. But I think that the issue was that we were wanting to receive bids and not just put it up for sale. I think that's the last discussion we had.
That was my question at our last meeting, when we discussed this and we read the report. I recall us talking about whether we can, when we put it up for bid, ask what the people are going to use it for and have it open for a period of time, so we can get some multiple bids and we can weigh the cost versus the type of use for the facility to try and get the best benefit to Nipigon. So not just taking the first bid that comes, and it would be nice to have a description of.
Yeah, we don't need a business plan or anything. We just need like what would be the use for it, would be nice to know.
Yeah, and I think as Kelly said, I can't remember the name of it. Like we're doing with the mill site, that they have X number of years to develop what their proposal is, or the property could come back to the town.
It's a valuable piece of property. It's a good piece of
Yeah.
property, so I think it would be helpful to, if we were able to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Okay. Anyone else on that? Okay. Oh, it's a long one, sorry. Summer museum hours. So, there was some concern, that I saw in the community about the museum, closing at 5 every day, so not having an opportunity for people to come in in the evenings and stuff when people are traveling through or finished work. Just an update for that. I did see, Gordon, you might be able to update us on that.
Yeah, actually, I was at the last museum meeting on Monday morning, and I thought there was a very good compromise that Linda and Kristen had proposed to the museum committee. Unfortunately, I had to leave early because I was getting my boat launched, and the time got upped on me. But anyhow, from what I gathered from the committee members, that they were quite in favor of the hours, Linda. And if you can please correct me, the museum is going to have 3 students, right?
Yes.
And they're going to run Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Is it 9 to 5? You remember the hours?
Till 7 now, I think, isn't it? That's what I saw.
Yeah, but 9 to, they're gonna be able to run it, I believe it's again, I don't have my notes with me.
10-hour day?
But
Well,
they're
she
gonna
was
run
looking at doing shifts, so she would have one earlier in the morning and then two in the
two in the
afternoon.
evening, so they
until
would be
7 o'clock.
open until 7 o'clock in the evening. So I
Yes.
think it's 11 or either 10. 10 to 7 each particular day.
Mhm.
And there would, the student that was working in the morning would be supervised by the township staff, right? So if there's any issues, they wouldn't necessarily be alone, right?
Right,
So but there would be two students after hours, between the hours of 5 and 7. And then they also, you guys all, it was really good. They also said that they were gonna work with the students and have them available like during the Blueberry Blast, because there's gonna be the 50th celebration for the museum during that time, so the museum would be open as well. And there was another time, they're gonna try to operate during the long weekends as well. So,
It would be great if those students could also take advantage of our Superior Country training. too.
Yeah.
And what I've told, yeah,
Yeah.
as many frontline people, especially those students who will be dealing with travelers,
mhm.
to have them up to speed on how to deal with travelers would be great.
And anyhow, I really thought it was a nice compromise, and the museum's gonna be open, longer hours and during more touristy times, so.
Good. Good, okay, so that's no longer an issue, that's fantastic. Thanks for that update, Gordon and Linda. So sundries A, so we have Superior North EMS Master Plan 2021-2023. So this is just for informational purposes, this is a big, long plan that we were supposed to meet about tomorrow, but has been, will be rescheduled probably at the end of the month.
Okay.
So, I don't think there's really anything to discuss here yet. I think we have to. Well, I mean, it's a discussion that's gonna, I think, happen with the EMS people and the, yeah. If you want to
I
make
did
a
have quite a
comment.
few notes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I'll defer.
yeah, we can defer talking about that until maybe after that meeting our next council meeting, we can give an
Okay.
update on how that went. Cause it should be before the next council meeting. Audio video recordings of council meeting draft policy. So this is resolution 49. Just before we get into it, does anyone have any comments about the
Found it yet.
policy? I know this is, we have to get through that dang EMS. Oh my goodness me. Okay, whoops, I thought I had it.
Community safety?
No.
When have you ever seen a short government document?
Oh my gosh, look at this thing.
I know.
Okay,
Oh,
here we
there we
go, township policy. Oh, God. Way back, help me. Oh, I hate iPads.
Someone's into charts and graphs.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so does anyone have any comments about the policy, the draft policy?
No,
No.
last time. At our last meeting when we discussed it. And I'm just, I don't know, I must have missed this when I was skimming through
Mhm.
the EMS document on the weekend. At the last meeting, Glenn and I had talked about, record retention. That I don't see here in Butts and Fruit. And I don't have. I'd have to look back to see what those.
From what I understand, those, if you post something on YouTube, it lives there forever. So there's not a reason, I guess you have the power to take them down as the person who posted them up. But they could just live up there for forever.
I don't know, they may have to clean up space. Linda?
it is our policy to retain our records for at least 7 years, right?
Including,
And then as far as minutes, and I'm sure that we still have minutes here from 20 years ago, right, in this
Yeah.
room, and so
Okay.
the minutes are the actual record, right? That is the actual record, is the minutes.
The authoritative source.
Correct. Yes. And then, there was a suggestion that, you might want to amend the policy to include, the posting, to have something in there about posting of council packages and how, you know, are we always gonna be posting the whole package? Is there gonna be certain things taken out of it? So like, it's.
Yeah, I think- Well, should that be a different policy though? I'm just wondering if that's, because this is audio video recordings. It's not like it's not a posting of package. I think that would probably be a different policy.
Standard.
And that should go on the next council meeting. But we can, okay, so let's sort of stick with this policy right now as it's written for audio recording. So you're just questioning that if there should be something in there about storage of
Yeah,
video files.
and if it says that, they'll stay stored on YouTube ad infinitum,
That's what I'm told.
that, with electronic storage, there's always a cost. Sooner or later, somebody comes looking for money, or they purge things, because it all costs money. But because, right, I don't know how many times I've gone back to look at these because I'm missing the detail in the minutes that I need to answer questions.
Mhm.
And I think other counselors have done the same thing, right?
Yep.
So we
So-
wanna make sure that these stay around for at least a certain period of time.
So maybe add in at the bottom, I mean, if Linda's saying that we have to keep them around for 7 years, that they're not to be, like, it doesn't say that you have to delete them, but they're not to be deleted from YouTube for 7 years,
Yeah.
maybe?
Sure.
Maybe we can add that in there. So I just have a couple of simple things here. So one of the main reasons that I was hoping to have this policy in place is because it's inconsistent when they're posted and when they're shared, if they're shared on social media and how long it takes to get them
That's
up.
the other piece that was.
Yeah, so I, where's the wording here? Okay. So number 5, the audio and or video of the recorded meeting will be available on the Township of Nipigon's YouTube channel. Staff will attempt to have the recordings posted within 48 hours of the meeting. I think staff shall, not will attempt. It takes, I mean, I haven't posted those before, but I think it takes about 5 minutes to post those up. Linda, does it take longer?
With respect, we
Yeah.
do, right after council meetings, we're very busy, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we got all the accounts payables
Yeah.
that gotta be paid and then all scanned.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's direction from like, there's more important things than getting
Right,
the
and
video posted
Yeah.
within that need to be taken care of.
right, so yeah, at the last meeting I do remember asking you, is that reasonable? Is 48 hours reasonable to be asked? Okay, and there wasn't a response, so you're saying that 48 hours is not reasonable. So what would you say is reasonable? 3 days? Thursday? Not Thursday, Friday?
Well, I like the wording in this, right?
Mhm.
48's good.
Well, shall attempt, right?
Attempt.
So
Yeah.
you're attempting to get it done within 48 hours, but if it does, yeah, I mean, we know that it's
Yeah.
like it is a priority. but
Okay.
There's other things that come up and.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe that can be added in that specific sentence too, that it should. There's nowhere in here that says it will, a link will be posted on social media on our Facebook page. I find that people don't know where to find it when I search YouTube Township of Nipigon, it's somewhere down in the list somewhere. I don't wanna say elderly people because they're young people that are less technically inclined, so those who are less technically inclined are much more likely to look at view those meetings if all they see it on Facebook and they just have to click on the link.
Yeah.
As opposed to going and searching. So if you can add something on there that says it will be posted on YouTube and the link shared on the township Facebook page,
Okay,
within 48 hours as possible or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. And that's all I have to say about that. Councilor McKenzie.
Yes, having had a little bit of experience posting some YouTube videos, like only like 25 minutes worth, sometimes it can take hours.
And with the
So
size file, right?
Depending on the file type, depending on the bandwidth, depending on your server, the time of day, all these kind of things. So I really empathize with staff and trying to get that done because, it's very time consuming and it takes up your whole computer.
Yeah.
When you're doing it. So
And I think-
you can't be doing other functions.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, any other? So can we, because those are pretty straightforward, can we just, approve this, policy with changes and just put with changes as noted?
Suggested.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're okay with that, Linda?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So resolution 149/2023, moved by Councillor Sakamoto, seconded by Councillor McKenzie, that this council hereby approves the audio video recordings of council meetings policy as prepared by staff with changes as noted. Should I note
They
them?
should be,
Oh, I
it
thought.
should be initiated by the mover and seconder.
Oh.
Actually, yeah.
Oh, this should I note the changes as well? Link. To YouTube. Video to be posted on Facebook. Sorry, guys, it's a long meeting, sorry. And then the note to not remove from Facebook.
Remember the days we had to do shorthand?
7 years, no one can understand my writing. Okay, and you guys, initial, please.
So,
down here. I'm not having one a month, there's so much to fit in. Thank you. Okay.
All's good.
Okay, that this council hereby approves the audio video recordings of council meeting policy as prepared by staff with changes as noted. Link to YouTube video to be posted on Facebook and note to not remove videos from YouTube before, sorry, it says basic for some reason, before 7 years. Okay, all in favor? Opposed and carried. Okay, joint community safety and well-being survey. So, Linda, I know that you're involved with this. This is where you were at that meeting in Red Rock.
Yes, the municipalities are mandated to do a joint health and safety plan. It was actually supposed to be, I think it came into effect in January 2021. So, we had started to do some training and we did approach other communities. We approached Dory and her kids, Red Rock and Red Rock Indian Band, so we could work as partners in doing the project, and then COVID happened and everything went got pushed aside, and so and then it's an overwhelming task that involves it's not just the task of creating the plan, and then it's like initiating it. And so it needs to have a lot of support, and then it can also be expensive as well. So we were fortunate to be able to work with Public Service Canada, and we've been doing training sessions with them. So far, we've done 2 of them. We are going to be doing the 3rd, and we do have other service providers, schools, other community partners that are participating with us. And so we are going to be doing the 3rd and possibly final session on the end of June. And we feel that it's really important before we have this last session to try to get some input from the communities, so 4 communities. So then that's something too that we can make sure that we're on track, right track with our priorities that we're looking at.
So this will be posted on our website.
It is posted.
It is posted now?
Yes,
Perfect.
and on the Facebook page and the other community
Okay.
sites, as well as there being hard copies, so for that, our tech savvy.
And you've put a notice on Facebook that this is out there? No?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
and posters.
Okay. Covered all bases. Perfect. Anyone have any comments about that? Councilor McKenzie?
Yeah, my hat's off to you guys for doing that. I know, I was, myself and a number of individuals were part of the, Youth Justice Committee here in town, and, you have to be trained as a facilitator to do that. And, the recidivism rate for youth was only 15%.
Yeah.
You know, it's very, very low, so I know I'll have to fill out that questionnaire. And, perhaps, perhaps we might consider bringing that Youth Justice Committee back. Because if there's someone in the community that's young and does something kind of, they shouldn't have done, and they actually have to face the person that they did it on, that has a huge impact on them. And so anyhow, that's really good.
Yes, that was an unfortunate program to do,
Yeah.
for sure.
It was.
The mining book for joint health and safety is about this thick, probably 800 pages. Yeah, like what to do and what.
So, it would be great if we can all encourage, or let people know about it, and encourage them to fill it in so they can have a say.
Yep,
Yeah. great.
spread the word.
There's train the trainer too. You get somebody trained in joint health and safety, and they could do a shared thing with all the communities too.
This is a little different from like joint health and safety. It's just more for recognizing issues in the community, problems that people are dealing with, whether it's food or substance abuse or lack of shelter.
Okay,
those kinds of
it's not a
things.
workplace joint health.
No, it's a community, yeah.
Thank you
Okay.
for clarifying that, 'cause it's a great difference.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna move on to D MNRF Aggregate Resources Act. So this is again, a bulletin for information. And just, these are just information items, so if anyone has anything as I'm going through, just stop me. AMO policy update. Roma May board meeting. Seniors Month is June. June's busy. It's Pride Month and it's Seniors Month as well. Which is great. We just had our seniors dinner on Saturday, which was successful. 2024 Thunder Bay Municipal League Conference. All right, so this is a resolution. And I don't. Unless I'm out of order here. I don't see, I don't see a resolution in paper here, Linda.
Double checking.
You might have it in there. I don't see it.
A resolution.
This will be resolution 150.
20.
It's for that this council hereby approves the Township of Nipigon hosting the 2024 Thunder Bay Municipal League Conference. You got it? Oh, it's not the way. So this is resolution 150, 2023. Just make sure that's right. Moved by Councillor Westhaver. That this council hereby approves the Township of Nipigon hosting the 2024 Thunder Bay Municipal League Conference. I did have a meeting with the executive director and another member who helps organize the conference. And while we're signing, I was happy to note that we are not responsible for paying for the venue. They do have money to pay for the venue, and they would prefer if it was the Nipigon Legion because of the kitchen and. Well, we've been to that conference, we know they're refreshing coffee and refreshing waters and all that kind of stuff, and excellent. We would just have to sponsor a meal, which we've done already this year. So it's really not much of a difference for us. It's probably a little bit of last minute work that I know I would be happy to help them out with too. So, okay. So that this council hereby approves the Township of Nipigon hosting the 2024 Thunder Bay Municipal League Conference, moved by Councillor Westhaver, seconded by Councillor Sakamoto. All in favor? Opposed and carried. So I will let her know that has been moved. Okay. Other municipal resolutions, 151, 2023. We don't have a moved by, was that just because you're gonna, that this council hereby supports the County of Prince Edward's resolution requesting a pause to propose changes regarding natural heritage and agricultural lands within the provincial policy statement. Councilor Henry.
I don't know enough about it to support it really.
Okay,
Maybe, yeah.
yeah, okay. We're good for that one. So resolution number 151 dash 2023, moved by Councillor Sakamoto, seconded by Councillor McKenzie, that this council hereby supports the city of Cambridge's resolution that requests that the Ontario government amend S 2051 of the Highway Traffic Act to permit municipalities to locate an ASE automated speed enforcement system permanently or temporarily on any roadway under the jurisdiction of municipalities and is determined by municipalities and not be restricted to only community safety zones and school safety zones. All in favor?
Self-explanatory.
And carried, yeah. Nope, that is the same one. It's a double. 152 2023, moved by Councillor McKenzie, seconded by Councillor Sakamoto, that this council hereby supports the municipality of Chatham-Kent to determine what tools may be available to reduce insurance costs, including cooperative purchasing of insurance, creation of a municipal reciprocal insurance provider, or legislative changes to address insurance costs to municipalities. None argue with that. All in favor? Opposed and carried. Oh. All right, do we have, before we adjourn, any other business? So we'll start with Councillor Sakamoto. Councillor McKenzie?
Okay, just a couple quick items. With yourself, your worship, we attended the inaugural mayor's cleanup day, and we were at both schools, St. Edward's and Georgiano Public School. And I must admit, when you were walking with those children, it felt like a vacuum cleaner going up the street. Because both sides were covered. I mean, it was just incredible. So I thought that was a really great initiative. And then the other thing, other people were able to attend the Pride raising flag there, which was great. And I'm just thankful that we live in a country that, you know, we can recognize such freedoms, really. You know, I had a gentleman, you know, talk to me, but well, you know, like, for example, in Nipigon, we have a cross, you know, that gets lit occasionally up on the ball spot. And, you know, like you know, we have the freedom to do these type of things, and it was really great to be there. And then I just wanted to wish everybody a great summer.
That's good. Councillor Westhaver.
No, I'm just, I guess, a little bit blown away for how much stuff covers in one meeting.
This was a big meeting. It's
Yeah,
normally not
okay.
that much. It's a one-plate thing now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's great to see the process and how everything's working. I'm looking forward to getting on board and learning a little bit more every time.
Thank you. Congratulations again and welcome. Mr. Ruby, do you have anything to say? No. Shane?
Okay.
Just real quick, guys, I know it's the end of the meeting here. So senior supper, myself and Councillor Sakamoto and Councillor Westhaver attended the senior supper on Saturday. Congratulations to Sally Albert, who was our Nipigon Senior of the Year. And it was a great turnout. There were 160 seniors, and I noted there was with an average age of 75, 13,500 years of life experience in that room, which blew me away. They were so happy to be there. It was great. So congratulations to all the volunteers that helped out, and the Rotary, the Elks, and the Legion that put it together.
And Owen Littlefield.
And Owen Littlefield, yeah, he's gotta get a shout out too. The flag raising, thanks for attending that, those who did, and for the public that came out as well. And so we don't have any official events or anything happening for Pride Month, but you know, wear your rainbow and be kind, and that's all we can ask for. Be kind and welcoming. And we'll clean up again. Gordon covered it. It was fantastic. Thank you to the schools, and thank you so much to the staff as well. To administration for, I imagine it was the staff that delivered those garbage bags and plastic gloves to all the schools, and then the public works for helping to pick up the garbage. That was great. So, and that's everything I have. So resolution number 153, 2023, moved by Counselor Sakamoto, seconded by Counselor McKenzie, that this meeting be now adjourned. All in favor? And carried. Thank you. Sorry, guys. Long